Oh man, how is it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It is a wonderful day. We are back out in East Lansing per usual again. I know I say that at the beginning of every episode, but I'm going to say it again. Anyways, it's a beautiful day. It's actually pretty busy. We're going to explore some parts of East Lansing that we haven't been to in quite a while, and I don't know if bikes are allowed, but we're going to find out. Anyways, let's get into it. All right, so I'm not going to be like an asshole and ride through the gardens right there necessarily. I don't know. I'm guessing that's I don't need to do that. Anyways, if you're new here, my name is John J. Thomas, and on this channel we just ride around on bikes and we just kind of talk about life and whatever is going on in that moment. And right now I want to talk about a lesson that I learned recently. I guess not recently, within the last year or two, that has really improved my overall quality of life, and honestly just makes life way more enjoyable and way more fun and a lot more excitement out of your life. And that actually comes from Dwayne at Dry Creek Wrangler School, which if you have not checked out that channel, I've talked about it a few times, you definitely got to check out that channel, because Dwayne is like the cowboy that all of us wanted to be when we were growing up. So what does this whole concept of customizing your life look like? Customizing your life, I think, is it's an important lesson for any of us to learn, because we focus so much on living our lives the way that everybody else tells us to live our lives. And that's not me sitting there saying that you shouldn't listen to people or take advice from people, or that there isn't certain principles that are key or essential to living a good life. For example, we've talked about discipline and grit on this channel. Those, I think, are two key elements to just living a good life. I think being honest is a better path to living a good life than being dishonest. I think that if you're in a relationship, hey, you know what? Maybe, just a thought, maybe just being monogamous is a lot better than not being monogamous, and that'll help you lead to a happier life. But we focus so much on just doing everything that everybody tells us to do, and just kind of looking for people to make decisions for us. And that is not a path to a good life. I'll tell you that right now. I want to talk about this course that I'm building right now. By midsummer, I'm guessing, I would say, it'll be live and ready to go, available for purchase, right? And that's actually about rebuilding your reputation and rebranding yourself. So many of us find ourselves in situations in life where we find ourselves stuck, guilty, been there before. We look back on our past and how we acted and behaved at one point in our lives and are not proud of it. Guilty as charged. None of us are innocent in that, right? But guilty as charged, and I'll be open and honest about that. And perhaps we even were forced into a situation where, hey, I need to reinvent myself, especially in this modern economy. Traditional jobs are going out more and more and more now, and we're looking more at you see a creator economy really growing. You see a lot more freelancing. I think that this is very likely the path that things will continue to take. I'm not saying that all jobs will be gone, but I think that it's growing, and developing a strong personal brand has never been more important. I mean, you look at the rise of online dating, your whole persona that you're presenting in this profile, this personal brand, kind of shitty as it sounds and as dark as it might sound, you're kind of selling yourself, right? You're trying to say, hey, I'm good for you. This is why you should pick me to date. Same thing with jobs and resumes. You're selling yourself. This is why I'm good for this position. This is why you should pick me, especially with social media, right? People don't like this idea, but it is true that our social media profiles are curated, right? We don't show everything. We show the brand of ourselves that we want to show, for better or for worse. And with this rise in this economy that I was talking about, got a little sidetracked, but with that rise in that economy that I was talking about, what we're finding is that the traditional ways of, finding a job necessarily, they're still there, but they're not as important, I guess, that people are actually seeking out others, right? The stronger your personal brand, especially as you get higher up outside of like the entry-level jobs. The stronger your personal brand, generally the better chances and the better opportunities you're going to have in your life. So a lot of people find themselves in a position of, I need to build this reputation for myself. I want to be known as in a certain way. I want to figure out how to become this person that I want to be. So I'm actually developing a course that are the principles that I use for myself, because none of these things made any sense. It was all very wooey, you know, and everything. I was like, I don't like this stuff. But I did realize that, wow, you know, all this work I'm doing in marketing about branding, there's a lot of overlaps. I wonder if I could use this for myself to, you know, figure out my own reputation and build my own personal brand and, you know, rebrand myself, rebuild my reputation, become the person that I want to be, not the person that I was told I was forever. One of the elements in this course is a quote competitor analysis. And it's really not your competitors. It's essentially you decide who you want to be. You know, what do you want your values to be? What do you want, you know, your core beliefs and your priorities and your boundaries? What are those? You know, who do you want to be? Right? We're always told, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself, but so many of us don't know who we are. So we have to go and find, you know, what are some of the things that I truly value and what are some things that I want to grow into? And doing that helps answer that question of who am I? So part of this exercise with the competitor analysis is find people who embody that already. Find people who are living that out already, who you look up to, who you admire, who you, in a way, want to emulate in your life. These are your role models, right? And then, you know, we kind of go through the whole analysis. I'm like, okay, what were they like? What are the things that they do? How do they dress? How do they talk? You know, what are these aspects about them that we can learn from and incorporate into our own lives? But when people do this exercise, you know, when people start looking at that, they start to just copy them. Right? Like, I'm just going to copy this person and copy this person and copy this and copy this and copy this. I'm just going to try to be just like them. And that's not conducive to living that good life that we're talking about. Now, that's not to say that if somebody's like, hey, this is a routine that worked for me, you know, that helped me get sober, or this is something that helped me wake up earlier, or this is something that helped me take my business to the next level, that you shouldn't, you know, perhaps you should emulate that. It might work for you. The key, generally, that I find, the key is that usually these things don't, like, copying it exactly will not work for you. I haven't found that to work for anybody yet. But customizing it to fit you and the way that you think and the way that your brain works and the way that your lifestyle is, and the things that you like, or the things that you excel at, customizing your life to be a little bit more for you, customizing these things that you're drawing in from other sources, generally is going to work so much better for you, almost exclusive. What's going to be best for you might not exactly be best for me. Again, the principles may be the same and they may be super similar. You know, so for me, that might be, you know, I wake up or I drink a glass of water, I drink a couple cups of coffee, and I go outside and I look at the sun, or at least get outside to get those circadian rhythms kind of set in a good place. That's what I do first things first. Some mornings I might go for a bike ride. Some I might just get straight to work. But here's what I do with my mornings. Well, what if you really hate riding bikes? And you're like, you know what? The last thing I want to do is ride a bike. I hate it. Then don't incorporate that into your morning. Maybe be like, you know what? Okay, so I do like coffee. I can drink some water in the morning. That's probably good. I should increase my water intake. Hey, you know what? Looking out at the sun, that's a great idea. Even if I'm just looking out the window because I live in an apartment and I don't have a whole lot of space to do that. But, you know, maybe I'll just go for a walk. Or maybe I'll do the 5 Tibetan rites. You know, just kind of get that blood flowing. Customize it. Customize your life. Don't do the same things that every other person does. That's not how you build a personal brand. That's how you build a copycat And as we all know, we call them Kleenex. There's tissues. Tissue paper is what it is, but we all call them Kleenex because Kleenex was like the one. They made it. They customized it to make it fit and work for them. And everybody else, it's just the copycats. And sure, they find success, but not to that same level. You don't want to be a copycat. You want to build your brand so that people know it as you and you alone. Now, there is another side to customizing your life, but it's a little bit more straightforward in the traditional, what you might think of when I say, hey, customize your life. Don't do it the same way everybody else does. We could take this bike, for example. This started out as a mountain bike. The current ethos in the mountain biking world is get full suspension, get multiple gears, you know, then you're all set, man. You know, that's the general ethos. But I'm like, man, you know, I don't know. I kind of want to do something that fits me a little bit better. So I was like, all right, what are the things that I like and what are the things I don't like? All right. I knew I wanted a bright and obnoxious bike because I like gaudy things. I don't know why. So I knew, all right, I want a bright, bold, brash kind of looking color. Neon orange, perfect. I knew I didn't really want multiple gears because that's more maintenance and more things that could go wrong. So you know what? I'm not doing that shit. I'm going single speed. We need one gear and we'll build the legs up. Like the legs will get stronger. Okay, well, you know, this started out as a traditional type of mountain bike, but I'm like, you know, I'm kind of into like the dirt jumper bikes and whatnot. So, man, you know what? I think I'm going to want to shorten the stem a bit here. And so now I got some weird hybrid BMX / 29-inch mountain bike, single speed something. And it is wonderful. And I love it. You know, find small things in your life that just bring you great joy. Find little ways to customize your life that just make you happier and make you enjoy your life a little bit more, because you only get one shot at this thing. And we're just living lives that are cookie cutter, that we were told to do because, what, the media told you to? I don't know. I mean, that seems a little goofy to me. Live a life that you want to live. Again, don't discount that there are principles to living a good life. However, well, this is what everybody else in society is doing, so maybe I should too to fit in. Or you know what, if you're like, I'm not really a fan of the music that's on the radio. It's just not my thing. I know that this is what everybody likes, but I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think that this band is as great as everybody says. I mean, hey, look, I'll out myself right here. I used to be a big Nirvana fan way back when. I really am not a Nirvana fan anymore. I don't really understand what I saw. I'm not saying that they're a bad band or that you shouldn't like them. I'm not saying any of that. I mean, they were big for a reason. I just don't understand it. And that's okay. You know, I don't fully understand Led Zeppelin. I kind of like them. You know, I like some of their songs, but I don't fully understand it. I like the Beatles, but I don't think the Beatles are the greatest band of all time. Again, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Cancel me in the comments. You know, go for it, I guess. So I'm not going to listen to the things that everybody tells me, oh, you should listen to this all the time because this is what you should listen to. Now that's just customize your life. You know what I do like? I do like freedom. Not going to lie. Don't understand the hate that they get. I mean, just like a month ago, I learned my first Nicki Minaj song. I knew who she was. I didn't know a single song by her. I was just listening to the radio one day, and I was like, oh, that song sounds interesting. And I was like, oh, that's Nicki Minaj. So I told my wife, I was like, hey, did you ever hear the song? She's like, yeah, the song's like 12 years old now. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. You know, again, you don't have to follow the trends on everything. Guys, just customize your life a little bit. You don't have to spend as much time on social media if you don't want to. You don't have to watch the hit shows that everybody's telling you need to watch. Honestly, like 95% of the shows that I'm told, oh, you should watch this, I have zero intention of ever watching. Not because I don't trust somebody's recommendation, not because I don't think I won't like it, just I don't want to watch a new show. I'm pretty good. Read the books you want to read. Listen to the music you want to listen to. Ride your bike the way you want to ride your bike. If you want to go like full weird, just go all out like unicycle, go for it. I support that 100%. But just find little ways to customize your life that just make it a little bit more epic every single day. Alrighty, folks, that is all that I have for today. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, comment, subscribe. I really hate saying that. I don't know if I'm ever going to really say that much, but I do appreciate it. I mostly just appreciate the fact that you took the time to watch this. Anyways, until next time, have a great day.